Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Demon bringing you another Starcraft 2 commentary and or match, whichever way you want to look at it, between the Red Terran SjoW versus the Purple Zerg Forsen. This will be on Xel'Naga Caverns, and replay I got off of Gosu Gamers, so we will see how this goes. Got some big plans going on right now. Me and some of my cohorts are working on a little project that I will be, I guess I'll be uploading some of it to my channel here, and not saying anymore, and so we will be letting you know as things develop. Hopefully there will be at least the first installment, should I say, of this project later this coming weekend, so the 18th I think it is, 19th, sometime of that weekend. Got stuff to do, places to go, people to see, etc., etc. So at the moment we got our supply depot down, second overlord has been hatched and floating his way around. Barracks going down now towards the front of his base, but not walling in, so a little bit of a unique choice there by SjoW, as most Terrans tend to wall in. But at a lot of these high-level games, you don't see them do that so much. They will oftentimes put them here and here to kind of block off their mineral line. And as I'm sitting there trying to point at my screen, but you can't see my finger, can you? So I hope the quality has improved with the new 1080p monitor, which I'm quite proud of. It's a Asus VW246H, in case anybody's wondering. And it's very pretty, and I like it quite a lot. So it looks like SjoW is going to do a slight wall in here and see if he actually blocks the rest of this off. The drone does come into SjoW's base, and we'll be doing some scouting, but SjoW will go ahead and throw down his second refinery in order to prevent that drone from stealing the gas. And you see he will just leave it here unfinished and go back to mining, so not a bad technique there at all. Because I'm sure it causes much more irritation than it is worth having to fight that gas extractor steal. And my main computer is breaking. Or not my main computer, my media center. That's the random beep you heard. Second factory going down here real quick for SjoW, so it looks like we will be seeing a possibly rush to some air units if he just goes straight for Hellions or things like that. And for the Zerg player, the spawning pool is done. That has not started the research yet, but we do have 2 Marines coming up in here, and they're going to be starting harassing the natural expansion of Forsen, and they will be pushing those drones back off, picking off one, and then they are going to start pulling back, which is a good harassment. Got 1 kill. Definitely paid for themselves as they did not die, so even better for the Terran player. So he's got himself an itty bit of an edge up. The Zergling speed is now being researched as 2 Zerglings are making their way down towards SjoW's base, and the 2 tech labs are done on the factory and the barracks at the same time, ironically. Both gas are going now, more supply depots going down. Going to let his Marines back in the door, and hopefully he will be able to get it back up before the Zerglings come in. Nope, looks like these 4 Marines will just make very short work of those Zerglings. Forsen continuing to send down some Zerglings, but the Hellion is now out. Is he going to research Infernal Pre-Igniters? Yes, he is, as well as concussive shells for the Marauders. So he is probably expecting some roach play if he's going to be getting out some Marauders. We do have a spine crawler going down at Forsen's natural expansion. Looks like he's getting ready to prepare his queens here to block the ramp in case that Hellion does pop its way up in here. As you do see, it is doing right the second. It's going to roll up and try and get behind the mineral line, but it won't, and so it will pull back and not risk itself. Common tricks to do are to feign different technologies. So I mean, he does have a Hellion here, 2 Hellions sitting at the watchtower now. The Infernal Pre-Igniters is almost done, as well as the 3rd Hellions finishing up here. And so they will be sending those out. With those Pre-Igniters done, they will do a lot more damage. As they will do, it increases their versus light by 10, so it went from 14 to 24. So now they're going to be really roasting away those Zerglings and drones if they can get up into the base. The Hellions do pull up forward here and are kind of dancing around the entrance, and it looks like they're going to pull back and wait for a few more reinforcements, because why sacrifice one when you can have 4 up in the Zerg's face? So what is Zerg doing? He is building a Baneling's nest. Not quite the answer I was thinking of for the Hellions, but maybe as the Terran player is trying to force Forsen to like produce a particular unit, and Forsen getting his natural expansion down right now, protecting it with some units here. And did I say Forsen? SjoW is getting his natural expansion. Forsen is going to be sending out a Zergling here, making his speedy little run around the edge to check out and see if that expansion has gone down, would be my assumption. So it is going to pop up in here and get roasted really quick by those Marines and Marauders. Will he get to take out one SCV? No, he does not. That SCV made it away with 5 health. So we do have an Overlord here sitting at this little ramp to the back door of his natural expansion, so he can tell if any mischievous things are done by his opponent. Hellions, 4 Hellions now moving up. They did roast away a few creep tumor right there, and now they're going to be pushing their way up and back, and they can't quite decide if they want to go up or stay back. So it looks like they will stay back. One of them getting hit and is in the orange, the other one in the yellow out of the 4. Looks like Forsen is going to replace his spine crawler here to give it maximum effectiveness, while SjoW continues to produce a Thor. I was going to say a Hellion, but he is producing a Thor. So we do have Thor technology out for SjoW, as he is producing more Marines. Mostly Marines coming out of his production facilities now. No Marauders. So it looks like he is expecting the Zerg player to go with a Mutalisk build, but he is going Roaches, so no Roach speed yet. Lots of Overlords out, you know, your normal things. There's the Spire. It's almost done. Centrifugal hooks also being researched for the Zerg player. Stim pack. All sorts of fun technologies here, so this is going to turn into be a really interesting game here shortly. Do have a starport finally going down for SjoW. You know, late, early, whatever, it doesn't really matter. He's getting it down when he decides he needs it. So my assumption would be medevacs to support the ground units, as the Thor will be able to help deal with the Mutalisk. These Zerglings are going to start breaking down the rocks to the 3rd expansion off of the natural expansion, and will they bother trying to take down the high mineral location? No, but it looks like SjoW is going to be bringing a Marine up in here to block and or watch this 3rd expansion, but he will get killed very quickly, and so Forsen will go ahead and plant down an expansion there, as well as one at the east position in the middle of the map. So he is just expanding like a fiend, going for that really macro game, and these Zerglings just eventually going to take down these destructible rocks, doing what they can. They're only Zerglings. I wonder if it really hurts their nails or claws. Ooh, these Hellions here are really caught out of position. They are going to get, all of them are going to fall right to these Mutalisks, although it does give SjoW a heads-up warning as to what's coming. He does have 2 Thors ready and waiting, and they do get a couple of volleys off at those Mutalisks. One of the Mutalisks is in the red. None of them were taken down, but they are forced to back off, as those Thors will sit there and protect the main base. Especially with that huge range that they have, they will be able to cover most of the base without moving too much. And that is one of the serious hindrances of Thors, is that they're just so slow. We do have the 3rd and 4th base about to finish in a second, but the 3rd base is already up and mining. Even has his 2 gas extractors. So let's check out our income tab here. It looks like the Zerg player is going to be catching up here in minerals, but pulling ahead a little bit in the gas production, as he's probably going to be concentrating more on a Mutalisk force. Look at our production. We do have 5 more Mutalisks coming out now. Yes, they're going to go ahead and take out those destructible rocks for the Terran side as they get that high mineral expansion. Command center is already ready, getting ready to plant down and do his business of mining minerals, as he is moving all of his, not all of his, but many of his SCVs from his main, as he has just been producing SCVs out the wazoo we do have 70 harvesters to 60. So it does seem that the Zerg has kept up and even beaten the Terran player in the harvester production. So Banelings, Zerglings, and Mutalisks with a few roaches coming into support. Looks like they're getting ready to push out and engage the Terran army. Who has control of Zelnaga? The Zerg do have one, and the Terran has the other. So we have a pretty evenly split map here. 3-base Terran, a 4-base Zerg, so this ought to be an interesting fight. What are these Mutalisks going to do? Looks like they're going to be magic boxed, would be my best assumption. And I will find a different word other than assumption, because I have said that like 5 times this game, and if I irritate myself with it, then it must be annoying to somebody. So we got lots of roaches here, Mutalisks, Banelings. Looks like all the Zerglings are Banelings now, so let's check out our army tab. As you can see, it's 188 to 194 to 184, so they're both almost maxed out. Check out our units tab. We have 1 Zergling, 21 Mutalisks, 23 Roaches, and 16 Banelings, getting ready to hit a very large Terran force, 15 Marauders, 3 Medevacs, 2 Thors, 5 tanks, and 45 Marines with 1 Hellion and a pre-igniter. So we have the engagements already beginning. Looks like the Terran's trying to bait the Zerg player, leaving some tanks sieged. Is he going to go ahead and siege? Is that Zerg player going to move forward, or is he going to let that third expansion fall? So it looks like they're trying to pick their way up there. No, the Zerg player is going to engage right here in the middle of the map, in the best place for the Zerg, as they do get a beautiful spread. The Terran's kind of caught in a little bit of a choke, and the Banelings just absolutely decimate all of the Marines and Marauders, but several of them were out of the way, so we do have still quite a force left to be dealt with by the Zerg player here. Looks like they're going to take out this gas extractor and then kind of camp here at the back. Are they going to try and hit it from the high ground? Yes, they are. They're going to start shooting those drones, but the drones will just immediately pull away, and the Zerg player is forced to make tons of roaches. So this could cause a lot of trouble for SjoW. Forsen really massing up his units. They are going to push in at the third expansion, start taking it out. Already took out that spine crawler really quick, trying to take out as many drones as they can, inching their way forward. Hatchery goes down, as well as all of the larvae, and ooh, those roaches are coming in, taking out the tanks. The tanks do unsiege so they can try and do something against those roaches. And the Mutalisks come out and took out a couple more of the tanks, but the Terran does pull back and is able to force them back off the regular ground and onto the creek. So the roaches will push back in here. Stemmed up Marines and Marauders going up against us with a couple Thor support, and Forsen does good game out of that. It seemed a bit premature, but not my opinion. Terran player was getting his 4th expansion done with a planetary fortress there, and he just felt as though he lost his whole army, couldn't produce it fast enough to deal with what was left of the Terran force. So Forsen, good games to SjoW. SjoW putting on a good show for us. That is a horrible, horrible joke. So thanks much, and I will get some more up sooner rather than later. And I hope you guys like the quality. Goodbye.